Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
Hello, this is Marcia Hawkins, and this is Elevating with Marcia. Welcome to the show today. We're going to talk money and the economy, and it looks like we've got inflation. Might have a little more with the threat of a $5 trillion stimulus package. Not quite sure that's going to make it through the Senate, but we'll have to see what happens with that. We've got a couple of moderate Democrats that are questioning whether or not they are going to vote yes on the stimulus package and how this all ties into the current state of the country, actually the world, and how it's going to affect our everyday life as a consumer, business owner, and investor in the United States and, of course, globally. All right, if you would like to feature your business on a podcast, it's a great investment for your business. You can direct message me via Facebook or Instagram at Elevating with Marcia. Podcasting really is a great communication vehicle. Catch a ride in it right now because it's a fantastic way to get in front of your intended audience. Podcasting really has been around for quite a while, but it definitely over time is really standing out as the means in which you can make your business directly communicate and create superfans for your business. It's really a wonderful communication vehicle to get in front of your intended audience. Send a personalized message and really get the attention of new patients, clients, and consumers. All right, you can listen to the podcast on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. You can also hear it on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, tuned in the American Forces Radio Network. Happens to be one of my favorites, by the way. And today on Elevating with Marcia, it's brought to you by myhealth-quotes.com. There's a lot to unpack when it comes to health and life insurance. And I invite you to stop by myhealth-quotes.com to learn how to understand why it's not advised to simply go online and obtain a quote and purchase insurance. You really have to know whether or not you're qualified for that plan. myhealth-quotes.com to schedule a consultation to be an educated consumer of insurance. All right, we're going to pay some bills with a quick break before we delve into all of that on Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the app 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. And I would be remiss in not mentioning a sad day for the U.S. and Afghans yesterday with the loss of 13 service members and over 90 civilians. There's not a word appropriate to express my gratitude to our beloved military. We're going to take a break. We will be right back.
The world is changing so fast these days. You ever feel like you're not keeping up personally or professionally? Enter Elevated Media ESQ. Elevating with Marcia allows you to advertise in a forum you never thought possible. They feature a business in an interview-type fashion, which is comfortable, amazingly affordable, and flexible. Not only that, the feature on your business is then formulated into a podcast for convenient, on-demand listening 24/7, 365. These times we're living in demand a different, clearer, more concise message. Does this sound like how you feel about how you market and advertise your business? Reach out today, no matter how big or small your business is. Elevating with Marcia is highly effective, and you'll be so grateful for the superfans she'll create. Email hello@elevatedmediaesq.com. Elevated Media ESQ, changing your business for the better.
Can you name the 3 habits of healthy hygiene? We shower, we brush our teeth, and we... Wait a minute. What third habit? Think about it. The pandemics reminded us that the nose is your body's filter against a constant invasion of airborne germs. Your nose traps allergens, bacteria, and viruses, but like any filter, the more it's clogged up, the less it works. Now it's easy to clean your nose with Navage. My name's Martin Hoke, and I did not invent nasal irrigation. It's been around thousands of years, but I did invent Navage to make nasal irrigation easy for everyone. Navage uses powered suction to flush out germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you very sick. People love Navage. It has 4.7 stars with over 70,000 online reviews. And over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and select Walmarts. Make cleaning your nose your third habit. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Angie's List is now Angie. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or you're planning your dream renovation, Angie connects you with top local pros who can get the job done right. See reviews, compare quotes, and book hundreds of projects. Plus, when you book and pay through Angie, we'll cover your project up to the full purchase price, plus limited damage protection with our Happiness Guarantee. Check out Angie.com, and for more on the Happiness Guarantee, go to Angie.com/happiness-guarantee.htm.
Between jobs, retiring, or just need health or life insurance, please visit myhealth-quotes.com or call 833-687-5261. Before you try to get a quote online, call us. We will provide you with the information most sites will not. We teach you exactly what life or health insurance plan you qualify for, how to use your plan, and maximize your benefits. We provide you with the information to make a knowledge-based decision to ensure selecting the right plan. myhealth-quotes.com to schedule an appointment.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia. Sirius XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app 967 Sports Byline, USA Radio Network. Today we're going to be talking sports first, and then we're going to delve into money, everybody's favorite subject. All right, in sports, we've got a Yankee streak going on, running on, get this, 60 years, the longest in 60 years, much to my chagrin. I'm a Red Sox fan. Still no word on the sudden death of ex-NHL star Jimmy Hayes. Still waiting on the autopsy report for the cause of death in this very, very untimely death. Very sad news for hockey fans. And Aaron Rodgers has publicly come out and said he has taken the vaccine for COVID, but he's not judging any of the players that refuse it. And of course, we had the controversy with COVID protocol with Cam Newton. Not sure how that's going to flesh out for him long term, with Mac Jones looking quite comfortable in the pocket and impressing many veteran players of the New England Patriots. And I'm still curious whether or not Tom Brady has taken the jab. It's really not any of my business, but I'm only curious given his very, very strict regimen when it comes to his health, his diet, his workout regimen. It's really very curious whether or not he's opted to do that. 9 Titan players have tested positive for COVID, along with head coach Mike Vrabel. And other teams also noting COVID, and I'm kind of getting anxious, and not in a good way, to see how this is all going to unfold for the 2021 NFL season. Aside from the health issues, the financial implications, it's really starting to concern me that we've got more problems on the horizon for the NFL, and actually any sports for that matter. And Sony Michel, gone, traded to the Rams. I'm not totally surprised, but I'm not happy about it either. And Jameis Winston named starting quarterback for the Saints. I admit I am a little surprised by that one as well. And then you have Peyton Powell, a defensive end who joined the Rutgers roster in December of 2019, said in a tweet that the vaccine mandate left him, quote, no other choice but to enter his name into the transfer portal, end quote. Texas native Powell began in Baylor's 2019 recruiting class before transferring to Rutgers, where he never got any playing time. I have to believe that also factored into his decision. I do know personally quite a few people that have changed their college or university of choice over the mandate. And of course, we we had several employers mandating the employees get vaccinated as well. Kind of interesting, I think, that the Pfizer CEO, 59-year-old, and his name escapes me at the moment, he's not taking the vaccine, and I'm kind of inquisitive about that. I'm kind of curious why he has not taken it. And not to be outdone, we have public outrage over the latest mascot getting heat for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish Leprechaun. It is now deemed offensive. We will have to see how that all plays out as well. I guess Lucky Charms may need to rethink Magically Delicious. All right, let's talk about the economy. I got Michael in studio with me today. So, Michael, I wanted to talk about the economy today because it does seem, obviously, the elephant in the room, gas prices are up. We've got record inflation going on. We are now, we went from energy independent to now dependent on foreign oil. Again, I say this on every show. This is not about a political position because, quite frankly, and I do have a political position. What does it matter to anybody listening to the show? What works for me may not work for you, and I get that. So it's out of respect that I'm never going to be political on this show. I'm only pointing out, what the facts are, and obviously we've got inflation, we've got higher gas prices. I think there's something going on with real estate, although I am going to have a real estate agent from Florida on the Tampa area. I'm going to be having her on in the next couple of weeks. She's very knowledgeable, very good agent. She's going to give me her take on what's going on. And I truly believe Florida is kind of in a whole vacuum of itself, given that, the Florida real estate market, I'm telling you, you can go from having a condo sell for $16,000 and wait 2 years and it's worth $150,000. It's a crazy market down there. So I'm going to get her take on that as well. But I think real estate is starting to cool off a little bit. What do you think, Michael? I mean, the gas prices, a lot of people are saying, it's got nothing to do with the pipeline shutting down. It's supply and demand. Now, this I thought was interesting. A lot of people were blaming the higher gas prices on the fact that nobody went anywhere last year, which I believe that not to be true because actually gas prices were actually cheaper in 2019. What are your thoughts?
Well, when you opened up with magically delicious, that cracked me. Apparently it's not magically delicious, but that was very funny. You got me. So, I think what's very puzzling to me and very disturbing is that we went from number one as far as being energy efficient, sufficient, to now dependent on OPEC, and in fact, the current administration asking for OPEC to step it up. So the gas prices going up 50% is not a surprise to me, sure, nor should it be to anyone.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, grocery. Okay, so grocery prices. So there was quite a bit of a discussion on Facebook the other day about how some of the grocery shelves are getting a little lean. So I did a little research on that. There's a number of factors as to why that's happening. Gas prices being one of them. Some of the, what is the appropriate word? Not manufacturing, the grocery producers, I'll just call it that. They were talking about how, with COVID, they've got people out with COVID. They've got struggling really to really find people to come into work. So you've got that factor. A lot of them with the inflation is factoring in. So what they're doing, let's say they have six product lines and 4 of them are really popular. The other 2, they're just not ramping up production on those. They're focusing on the products that are actually selling. So that's contributing to it. And then, of course, you have the fuel for transportation to get those groceries to market. So I've noticed a 30% increase. I actually, and I hate to admit this, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, I really don't look at the prices when I'm shopping for groceries. I know on average what I spend per week, but I did notice that when I picked up just about everything that I purchase on a consistent basis has gone up 30%. You noticing that?
Oh, absolutely. And it's right, just like you said. So a couple of things. Everybody's taking it and nobody's making it. Not as many people are making it. So there's a short supply, and you mentioned it. What does it cost? The truckers, the fuel's up, so the transportation costs are up. So a head of lettuce that was X a year ago is X plus because of those factors. There's not enough of it, and it costs more to get it to your table.
Yeah, I mean, 30%, that's a lot. So now let's factor in, and we're going to talk about the deficit in one of the next segments. But you talk about, our taxes are higher, gasoline taxes are higher, gas prices obviously higher, groceries 30% higher, clothing, most consumable products are up 30%. I don't know how, the average American family, middle America, and then of course, I just don't know how they're going to be able to afford that. It's kind of scary.
Extremely scary. I mean, then you have the families cutting back on entertainment, so they're not getting ribeyes once a month or once a week or whatever. They have to cut back, period.
And then, of course, the New Orleans Saints, apparently the ticket prices have dropped because they're mandating either a negative COVID test or you have to have your vaccination papers. And the fans are revolting and saying, we're not buying tickets. So that, I mean, I in the opening, I talked about how I'm curious how this is going to affect the NFL. I don't know. I mean, I know, they make a lot of money. But these stadiums not being full and, and I don't know. Do you know if the NFL has actually come out with what's going to happen if a team is, 50%, the roster is 50% infected with COVID? I don't know. Are they going to forfeit the games? Are they going to reschedule them? Do you know anything about that?
I have not heard anything about that, so no.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm going to have to look that up and see, because I don't know. As I said in the opening, 9 Titan players and Coach Vrabel is out with COVID right now. So, or tested positive, I should say. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. And then, of course, we have all the turmoil going on over in Afghanistan. We've got a hurricane, or at least a tropical storm, heading for New Orleans, which is not good. We've got all sorts of stuff going on in the country, with the economy, a lot going on. And I know in New England, and I think New England is probably one of the first areas of the country to start to feel a cool off in the economy. I've always said that. It starts here and kind of rolls west. But it should be interesting, for the lack of a better word, to see what happens with these prices going up. But we do need to take a quick break. This is Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the Sirius XM app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Check us out on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, Tuned In, and the American Forces Radio Network, my favorite. Shout out to our military. We're going to take a quick break. Come back. We're going to continue with money and the economy. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. That's 800-485-6003.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health care for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health care for you and your family immediately and save as much as 50% off your current monthly health care payments. Our plans are perfect for people that are self-employed, can't afford health benefits where they work, or just want to pay less for their current health care. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. We even offer some of the new Christian faith-based health health benefits. Save up to 50% on your family's health care. Make a free quick call now. There are no contracts, and we give you a 10-day money-back trial period. Call Provision Enrollment right now for your risk-free, guaranteed health insurance quote starting at $6 a day.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia, and we are talking money and the economy today. So we talked a little bit about gas prices. We talked about grocery prices. One thing that is really going through the roof is healthcare insurance premiums. I talk about health and life insurance on this program a lot. Licensed in over 30 states, and I can't tell you how many times when I'm pulling a quote. People say, I just simply can't afford that. And in some cases, it's as much as their mortgage payment is. If they are self-employed or they do not have an employer benefit package that provides them health insurance, and even then, with the introduction of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, if you will, a lot of business owners that have now been forced to provide health insurance for their employees. I think it's 7 employees and up in most states. Then they, what they do is they cover the employee, but then they pretty much charge almost full price for the spouse and dependent. So that becomes unaffordable for most families. So, I talked about it last week when I did the insurance podcast, and I was talking about how years ago, when Mitt Romney, governor of Massachusetts, initiated basically Obamacare for the state of Massachusetts, and we were paying close to $2,000 a month with a $10,000 deductible, $34,000 a year before I, applied one Band-Aid. And I know, it's just mind-boggling how some people, how they afford it. They don't. They simply just go without it. So it's dicey. So you've just got a lot of things, a lot of moving parts to this economy. I don't know where the American consumer is going to be able to get any relief.
No, I agree with you. In fact, when I first got into the corporate world, my insurance was paid for at 100%. And I was talking to one of the executives, and they said that my salary, 50% of my salary, if you take I make an X times 50%, that 50% was my benefits. And then what's happening now is that you don't really have insurance. You have such a high premium, such a high deductible, that the only thing you really have is catastrophic insurance. That's
a good point, because you know what a lot of people do on the Obamacare plans is they'll go with the bronze plans, which typically they're lower premiums, but you still have the high deductible. You do get your preventative care. However, you do have to hit that deductible. So, for example, if you're paying X amount of dollars for your premium, and then you've got to hit it's about $8,200 on average for individual deductible. Your appendix rupture, you got to pay that $8,200. I mean, it's just really I just don't know where there's any wiggle room for the American consumer to constantly, and again, this is not a political statement. It's just the facts of what we're dealing with right now. There's just not a lot of wiggle room for the American consumer to have something like their furnace break, or they need a brake job on their car, or, and then, you got to factor in the cost of college. I don't know how. I mean, I know how they're doing it. They're doing it with student loans, but it's really funny. This is not, I probably shouldn't even say it, but I'm going to, but you have a lot of young kids who are, taking out student loans, and they're in debt, which I'm going to segue into my next segment. They're in debt sometimes, $100,000 when they graduate college, if not more. I don't know what the average is, but it's up there. And then, they're paying $400 or $500 a month. They can't afford it. They can't move out of their parents' house. I just don't know where we carve out that wiggle room for necessities, let alone the incidentals, or something like, going to college. And, I don't know, very few people, and I don't know the average of the American consumer and how much they have in emergency savings, but I read somewhere it was less than $1,000. So I'm going to guess that a lot of these people have not saved for college for their children as well. And I mean, I know a lot of people who their kids are getting ready to go to college, and they're just going to have to go take out student loans. But that kind of, there's kind of an interesting fact that came out the other day, and I know you know this. What is the cost to each baby born in the U.S.? What do they owe the man the minute they're born?
$86,000. So there's probably been a baby born, probably quite a few, since this segment started. So every baby that's born, $86,000. That's what's owed to. That's our national debt, which most of that is owed to the U.S. citizens. And speaking of U.S. citizens, the debt per citizen, $227,000. Check me out, usdebtclock.org.
That's just mind-boggling. I mean, can you imagine you having a baby and you're $86,000 in debt? And I don't know if people actually process those numbers. I mean, to me, when I think about the deficit, and they just keep borrowing. So a lot of people, maybe they understand it, but just for people that don't really understand, how we get that deficit down and how we get that deficit up, we're borrowing from China. But give a little education, because I know you followed this quite closely. How does that translate to us as American citizens?
Okay, the biggest amount of money that is owed in the deficit, which is over $28 trillion, is owed to us.
With a T.
Yeah, with a T, a capital T, is owed to us. It's owed to American taxpayers, the citizens. The second is Japan, and then China, where we borrow money from them, and that's it's less. It's like 1.8 trillion, 1.7 trillion dollars that we've borrowed from that. We're paying on interest on that every day.
Again, those numbers are just mind-boggling. I just don't understand why people don't get that. And a lot of people will use the excuse, well, everybody lives their life with a deficit. Everyone takes out a mortgage. Everybody, takes out a car loan and student loans and all that. And I get that. But the problem is, we just keep printing money. And I don't think people understand the ramifications of that. I mean, have we ever printed that much money and not had inflation go through the roof?
No, we've printed $6 trillion this year alone. $6 trillion.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
You want to hear something even more? One thing that's even more, just think about this. In 1964, we had $13 billion in gold reserve. $13 billion. That's like 10 cents today to the U.S. government. $13 billion in gold reserve, and at the time, we didn't own a dime of it.
Oh, unbelievable.
We were in debt for that, too.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I just think the wiggle room for people, I just don't see it. I think last year, the economy was just, I don't think it was like an economy that we could even relate to, because, obviously we had lockdowns. We had a lot of people, like the big box stores did great. The Home Depots, the Walmarts, the Lowe's, grocery stores did well. But the average, 2/3 of the economy made up by small business, they suffered severely by that lockdown. They just... You really can't go back and look at that and say, okay, well, that's a bellwether for the economy, because it really wasn't. Things were, housing prices. People we're having a mass exit out of all the major metropolitan cities. I mean, New Yorkers were heading down to Florida. A lot of the major cities that were having lockdowns, they were like, forget it, I'm getting out of here. I mean, they basically, you're living in a small, tiny apartment in New York City and you're stuck inside all day. I'd go out of my mind too. I know in our area, housing, prices of houses, people were going, there was probably 4 or 5 offers, and I think I'm being conservative, for every house on the market, and they were paying upwards of like $25,000 over the asking price. I don't see that going on right now, though.
No, I don't either. I think that's settled down, but that was crazy. You would list a house, and before the end of the day, you got an offer.
Yeah, I mean, and
Insane.
I just not sure that, I wonder if a lot of people have buyer's remorse on that. But now, with the Delta variant spiking, COVID spiking again, major metropolitan cities, the mask mandates, and of course, the elephant in the room is the vaccine passports to get into places now. That's starting to take hold. I'm wondering if we're going to start to see that little bit of a bubble, if you will, in the real estate market again, for that reason alone. I mean, I just can't see people flocking into the high cost of living major metropolitan cities when the rent's high. I don't see it.
No, we have a friend of ours that grew up in a house that was, because it was near the train station in New York City, it was worth a lot of money. She said what my dad paid for it was X, and it's like $1.5 million. It was right. It was like $15,000 to $1.5 million. It was insane.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. It was crazy how, it's just strange. I know. Yeah, I know around in at least our neck of the woods in New England, I do believe that the real estate market has cooled off quite a bit. Prices are kind of leveling off. People are not paying, there's not 4 or 5 buyers for every house. And again, I think after that, that's probably a conservative figure. I think what really ends up happening is people just give up when they know there's 4 or 5 offers in on any particular house, and they just say, forget it. All right, everybody, we do need to take a quick break. This is Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the Sirius XM app, 967 Sports Byline, USA Radio Network. You can find us also on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, Tuned In, and the American Forces Radio Network. Again, a shout out to our military for all that you do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with Elevating with Marcia. If you're not using podcasting for your business, you will. Not having a podcast is like not having a website. Hi, this is Marcia Hawkins of Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM Channel 211, the Dan Patrick Channel. You can get your business on my podcast. It's a great way to create superfans for your business with a controlled message in a news format. What better way to get in front of your intended audience, your clients, your customers, or patients? Please contact me at hello@elevatedmediaesq.com about getting your business on my show, Elevating with Marcia. We also can create a personalized podcast that you can use on your website or social media channels. Contact me at hello@elevatedmediaesq.com and join me on Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM Channel 211, the Dan Patrick Channel.
The double play!
It's baseball season, and you're ready to go all out. So you ordered the essentials to make game day a success, like a jersey, a power recliner, and a bigger screen. And you used your Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping. Rewards that you put toward an essential piece of the celebration, an air horn. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021, Bank of America Corporation.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40-pill special for just $99.
800-399-3691. 800-399-3691. That's 800-399-3691.
Between jobs, retiring, or just need health or life insurance, please visit myhealth-quotes.com or call 833-687-5261. Before you try to get a quote online, call us. We will provide you with the information most sites will not. We teach you exactly what life or health insurance plan you qualify for, how to use your plan, and maximize your benefits. We provide you with the information to make a knowledge-based decision to ensure selecting the right plan. myhealth-quotes.com to schedule an appointment.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia. We're talking the economy, we're talking taxes, we're talking real estate prices, and how it's going to affect the economy overall long term. So Michael's in studio with me today. When we broke, we were talking about real estate prices, and did you have a point about that you wanted to make?
Yeah, I did. There was a time when people would say, they were selling their house and they got, so much more money than they paid for it. But they're also buying another house in the same area that's also inflated. I think what I've seen, and I've talked to a couple of people, these are people that are selling their house, but they're moving, just like you said earlier, they're moving out of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So they're selling their house at a huge, oh my God, I can't believe I made this much money. And they're moving to Florida. Mm-hmm. They're moving to Georgia, North Carolina. They're not buying that house that has the equal inflated price. They're downsizing, they're making a ton of money, and they're just getting out of New York, getting out of Boston, getting out of Chicago, whatever,
And the warriors that are building, in this pandemic, I cannot believe. Now, my husband's a contractor. The price of a piece of plywood pre-COVID was about $23 a sheet. $23 a sheet. He's paying almost $100 now. I mean, the big joke on social media is the toothpicks. They put them, how much can I get for these toothpicks? It is a little crazy. But it really, like I said, I notice the cost increase when I do go to Home Depot. I notice the cost increase when I go to the grocery store, obviously the gas pump. But I just notice everything. One thing that a lot of businesses are doing the COVID surcharge tax that they're putting on. Yeah, not every business, but I have seen it on some of my receipts. They're charging like $3 for sanitation services at a lot of the service industry businesses, hair salons, nail salons. They're charging a surcharge. Not to mention the fact that when all of the hair salons and so forth, and not all of them, but a lot of them had, and I get it. I understand why they've raised their prices. I understand these businesses have really taken a hit. Mm-hmm. Some were more prepared than others. A lot of them did apply for PPE loans, to keep their businesses afloat. I totally get that. But I don't know. They're talking, from what I'm reading, there's just, cases spiking everywhere. Hospitals are overrun. But that segues into my next, my next area I wanted to talk about is the healthcare shortage and employee shortage overall. The healthcare industry now is, mandating in most cases for healthcare workers that have direct contact with patients to be vaccinated. And from what I'm seeing now, I had a stat, and I know it's true, but I don't know if it's still true today. I heard it about a week ago. In New York City alone, of the 450,000 healthcare workers, 74% of them were not vaccinated. So how's this going to go?
Well, exactly. And you see all the time on the internet that these heroes have gone from heroes to zeros. So if they don't get the vaccine, they're getting fired. Are you kidding me? They've been with them for 18 months, unvaccinated, putting their lives in jeopardy, didn't get COVID, and now they're going to get fired.
Yeah, and again, this is not about whether you need to take the vaccine or you decide not to take the vaccine. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you the raw facts of what I've uncovered in my research in terms of how that's going to affect healthcare overall. I mean, My mom's been in the hospital a couple of times during COVID, not with COVID. She had another issue going on. It was not COVID at all. But, I walked right through the COVID ward several times. Didn't know it was until after they pointed it out to me. But same thing. I mean, they were restricting how much time I could spend with my mom. And also, in some cases, I couldn't visit her at all. It was just that depending on, what their census was with COVID patients. But I understand the thought process behind that. But where they are clamoring for healthcare workers, I'm not quite sure that that's the right way to go. I do know I'm privy to a little information about, some of the hospital workers that I've interviewed and what they've said on, that there's also not only COVID patients, but there's people there with side effects from the shot as well. I had a family member that suffered a severe reaction to the shot, so I get it. Again, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I do find it, it's not just healthcare workers. I mean, look at the grocery stores. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you go in there and there's, skeleton crews going on. You go to restaurants and you'll call to get a reservation if you want to go out, and they'll say, I'm sorry, no reservation. I'm like, well, that's great. I'm so happy to hear you guys are so busy. And they're like, that's not it. We've got one server and one bartender tonight. So the bartender is going to be doing both. And we just can't accommodate that many tables. Oh my gosh. I mean, to go through what they've gone through last year and now this.
Yeah. Now they have the clientele, but not the staff to support it. They're losing money hand and fist, and it's just crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is to it. Now, I did, and maybe you can confirm it. I didn't check it before we came on air, and I probably should have. Do you know that they're ending the rent moratorium? So that the Supreme Court rejected that. A couple dissented. And also, I believe that the unemployment's ending. Is that? Do you know anything about that?
I don't. I did not do any research on that.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's a couple weeks and party's over, and I think that's going to be the end of that. So, it's obviously, I get it for some people. It absolutely was necessary, but from what I understand, the employers have been telling me that they're struggling to get people to come back to work. They're making more on unemployment. And therefore, they really do not see the need to do that.
Yeah, and why not give the extra $300 to people that have a job? That would cure unemployment in a big way. Yeah. I mean, if I sign up for a job, I can get another $300 a week. Where do I sign? Yeah. They'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I know quite a few companies. I think Home Depot was offering up an extra $100 a week, I think, for COVID pay. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. There was for about 14 months. You got 100. I called it combat pay, COVID combat pay, just for showing up to work. You got an extra $100.
Yeah, and that's a great company. Home Depot is a really good. I know a lot of people that work there, and they absolutely love it. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. And then of course, there's people that really give me. I don't know about you, but give me a lot of guff, if you will. That I buy a lot on Amazon. And again, I get it. I love to support small business. I do. And local business. I love to do that. Unfortunately, between work and, I take care of parents, and I have a lot of things that I do. It's out of convenience that I do it. But not to mention the fact that with COVID, and it was just the natural progression. I was buying on Amazon before it, and it probably ramped up quite a bit with COVID. But I read the other day that Amazon's thinking about opening up stores, which I thought was kind of interesting, given I've said it a couple of times on this on the podcast. It's weird, but what the mall did to Main Street America, Amazon did to the mall. I mean, I go to the mall now, and very rarely. I mean, I may go once a year, and that might be a stretch. But you go in there now, and you've got fitness facilities, you've got go-kart racing, you've got virtual bowling, a lot of entertainment centers, a lot of chain restaurants, and a couple of shopping stores. But that's about it. But I'm wondering if They're just going to take over the malls, make them Amazon superstores. I get it. Can you imagine the amount of trees that will be saved with the cardboard boxes? I think it's insane. The cardboard boxes with the Amazon alone is a reason to give it up.
I'll have the audience think about this for a second. The mall's, let's say it's only 20 minutes away. There's an item that you want. You can jump in your car, find parking. After you go through all the traffic, find parking, walk half a mile to the store, find out, okay, there it is, purchase it, put it, and then get it in your car and then come back. Or you can sit at home in your bathrobe, go online, and have it ordered in 20 seconds and have it there the next day.
Yeah, and again, I do like to support local business, and I do as much as I possibly can, but because of my schedule, I have a lot going on, and I know everybody does, but my schedule is just a little tapped the last couple of years. It's really hard for me sometimes, and if I need something, for my mom or whatever, it's just a lot easier sometimes to do that. But I think that I see that if Amazon does take over the malls and they do become a superstore, if you will, and that to me is going to stimulate Main Street America to make a really strong comeback.
Well, I quite agree. And in fact, now just think about it from an Amazon standpoint. Millions of items online. What do you put in a store?
Oh, good question. Yeah. No, very good question. Yeah. And I know that a lot of the big box stores and some of the other stores, there's a nationwide furniture store that when you go and you do a Google search for something, that they offer, it will have that link. When you click on it, it takes you to Amazon. So, Amazon really, and I get it. I try to support small business as much as possible, local business, but there's times where it's convenient, it's cheaper, it's going to show up at my door. We're looking at 2 boxes that got delivered, and yay, they're not Amazon, but I'm sure he'll be here later. And I wish that I could structure my life around not relying on Amazon so much, but I have fallen victim to it just like everybody else.
It's all about speed and convenience. What's your time worth? Period.
Yeah.
And the people that don't know Marcia like I do, her home is an Amazon distribution center.
You had to get that in, didn't you? I know. I can't help it. But I know the other day I bought these keto-free chips and my husband ended up eating them all on me. So I knew that I couldn't find them local because I actually had bought them down in 40 miles away. What did I do? Went on Amazon, and sure enough, the box showed up the other day.
Least resistance.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I hate relying on Amazon like I do, but I'm not alone. They're at my neighbor's house just as much as they're at my house, so I don't feel that bad about it. But
you're on the way.
Yeah, exactly. But it is true, and I just think that the economy before. When there was a major shift in the economy, whether it was, increase in taxes or even a decrease or inflation or gas prices or a downturn, I always used to say, I also have my real estate license, but I always used to say that, real estate and car buying really is a bellwether for what the economy is doing. If people are buying cars and people are buying houses, they're hiring electricians, they're hiring plumbers, they're hiring roofers, they're, all of that. And that alone ends up stimulating the economy. What used to take, a year for a ripple effect in the economy, now because of technology, all of those changes in the economy are felt instantly. Get a hurricane, boom, gas prices that are already in the ground at the pumps, you're going to see a price increase. So it is what it is. It's just the way the dollar tanks, if you will. But yeah, it's unfortunate. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to close it out. Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM. We'll be right back.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110. Guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-807-1981. 800-807-1981. That's 800-807-1981.
Hello and welcome back to the Ronnie Deutsch Tax Program. On the line is Paul from California. Hi, Paul. What's your tax problem today?
Hi, Ronnie. Love your show. Listen, I've got a big problem. You see, my paycheck was garnished last week, and I'm only getting half the normal amount. To make matters worse, the IRS froze my bank account. Listen, I'm embarrassed and scared. I need some help.
Listen, Paul, you don't need to feel embarrassed. You just need some tax help. And the great news is the IRS has some unbelievable programs that can eliminate your tax debt so you don't have to worry about having your paycheck garnished or your bank levied. Doesn't that sound great?
It sure does, Ronnie.
Then do yourself a huge favor and get a free consultation right now and tell them the tax lady sent you.
855-715-5721. 855-715-5721. 855-715-5721. That's 855-715-5721.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about elite rehab placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
All right, Mario, my producer, says I have 2 to take us out. And I want to thank you for tuning in today and joining me for what I do best. I love to talk. All right, another podcast of Elevating with Marcia is on the cloud at XM203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app at 967, Sports Byline USA Radio Network. You can find me on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, Tuned In, and my favorite, the American Forces Radio Network. Today's show is brought to you by myhealth-quotes.com. For all your insurance questions, I have the answers and solutions. Please stop by Facebook or Instagram or visit marciahawkins.com. We post and broadcast all of our shows there as well. If there is a topic, a conversation, or cause, or your business you would like me to talk up on Elevating with Marcia, hit my line on Instagram or Facebook Messenger. I'll explain your options to be on Elevating with Marcia or allow me to communicate your message for you. A professionally designed podcast about your business is a wise investment and does provide an excellent return on your investment. Let's take the hour to feature you, your business on Elevating with Marcia, and articulate your message about your cause, your products, your services, or perhaps you have a business or a resort destination. There really is no better way to deliver your message than podcasting. You may also broadcast your link and post it all over your social media channels, broadcasts. You'll be able to post that link anywhere on social media because podcasts really are a way for you to deliver your message and continue to talk to your intended audience. All right, everybody, that's it for today on Elevating with Marcia on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, XM203, Sirius 217, on the app 967, Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Remember, always be in the minute to win it. I hope you make it a great week. Adios.